Like Cyan might come out here.
I'm feeling a Juanito. Special. No?
Oh wait, what?
He's going for Cyan.
All right, Maru's gonna play third player.
I thought that's not how it goes. I thought it was supposed to be a foreigner pick by them.
Well, we're gonna see what's gonna happen over here with Team Serral.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, they're gonna send out Serral.
Oh, that's awesome.
My God.
That is so cool, guys. Let's
Oh
go.
my God.
I love it.
Oh my God.
You've been waiting for it out there, guys. StarCraft fans.
I love
Look
it.
at Maru. He's like, oh no, it's happening.
Yes. He's like, no, I'm going back. Sul, you go.
This is crazy right now.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
All right, well, we're gonna go right into some insanity.
So everyone
Now,
wanted to see this.
we're gonna get it. By the way, Serral wins here and then wins GSL versus the world. I mean, we've pretty much knocked off any other possible people we could speculate with.
Yeah.
Guys, this is so freaking cool. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I can't believe that already we're going to have Maru Serral. And I'm sitting here talking about how I'm like, oh, you think you'd put out the weaker players first? Okay, 2 world best players. Let's go. Do it now.
So I actually love the fact that now actually Maru had to send out one of the Koreans of his team, because then it prevents the scenario that you pictured first, right?
Yeah.
So they actually they fixed that problem before that problem even existed. So we were wrong in that regard. But yeah, this is so freaking cool, guys. I'm so excited.
Okay, so we got a highlight over here. You can see Stats chasing down the Reaper as it does try to get inside the main.
Yeah, and it just didn't get to see the Dark Shrine.
Unfortunately, yeah. DT's twice now, guys.
Yeah, DTs versus foreigners has been the name of the game so far in this team match.
Indeed. Well, when DTs get it and you don't have scans, guess what it looks like? It looks like this.
If they're invisible and you can't see them, that's a problem. So
No turrets, eBay not done yet. No scans available.
No.
I mean, these Marines were doing all right, but you can't scan. You need to scan at home. So obviously, he was never going to win the game with these 60 Marines. Well done by Stats, switching it up, making it seem like things are the same as yesterday, where he goes for the 3-base opening with Blink, but actually he went for the Dark Templars. Just a solid victory by him.
Indeed. Well, guys, spread the word. Serral versus Maru.
Pinch me, Tosis.
Yeah, no, it's like one of those Neo versus Morpheus moments.
fight Neo.
But it's like better than that.
This is when Goku fights one of the big bad guys, but he turns into a Super Saiyan. You're like,
Oh
oh my God, I can't wait to see this battle.
I was so looking forward to this match
No.
possibility.
This is Walter White from Breaking Bad against Khaleesi from Game of Thrones is what this is, okay? That's what we're about to watch.
You are on fire.
You are
Artosis.
killing it,
I feel
man.
like the 3 of us just need to go backstage and just watch you do this thing.
I'm not on fire. Okay, Serral's on fire.
That is true.
And the only people that might be able to put him out are Maru and Stats. That's all we have left for Team Korea.
And it's Lost and Found as well, right? That's actually that's a really cool map. So it's not like Darkness Sanctuary, cross map or whatever. It's like, no, it's a solid map for Zerg, absolutely. But, you know, there's also potential for Terran to make some magic happen there. Ah, this is cool. Even if it's a best of 1, guys, amazing.
Real quick, the odds of double proxy barracks.
No, he wouldn't
Actually,
do that.
no, he might.
No, he can't.
He
I
might.
don't think that will.
Because if
No,
he gets
you can't.
later in a series, he'll do it, and this is just one game, which means it's as late as you can.
We
you
get to
can be in
figure
a
out
series.
now if Maru cares about the fans or not.
Yeah.
That's what we get to figure out.
That's right.
He can do that
Does
to
he
us.
hate his fans? Or does he love his fans? Because if he loves his fans, we're going into a macro game. If he hates his fans, 2 barracks
Is there
across
no
the map.
exclamation?
3 barracks, maybe.
There's no little mention somewhere of a no rush 15, because that's what we all want to see, right?
I don't see it in the rules anywhere.
Okay.
Well, I mean, game 1 and 2 would have looked very different if it was no rush 15.
Yeah, but that's only for this one. That's only for
Oh,
the captain.
just for this one.
It's
Okay,
a
okay,
captain's rule, guys.
Yeah, we're
It's
rewriting the rules right now.
Yeah.
I gotta get my pen though. I lost my pen. Yeah, it's
So
down there
cool.
somewhere.
Who do you guys think? Come on, be honest.
Who's going to win this?
Yeah.
It's going to be
Serral,
Serral.
man. Of course.
It's gonna
What
be Serral.
language is this stream on?
All right.
It's going to be Serral.
What do you think,
What
Mr.
love
Terran?
language.
I mean, I'm the Terran. Maru's he's my god. He's my god emperor.
So you
And I
think?
think that he's gonna take this
Wow. Well, there's some Korean cashers over there. You should hang out with me.
Yeah, okay, I was-
They only got 3 of them, too. Maybe you can fit in a little bit better with them. Jeez.
Haters. Bunch of haters.
Yeah.
No, I think Serral can do this. I want him to do this. I want him to win. And then if he wins the GSL versus the world, We might have to move our studio. We're going to have to move the studio to Finland.
It would also be very nice for the storyline of Team Korea versus Team World. Like, even though they're on different teams, but right now Korea has a 2-0 lead already over the circuit. So the circuit kind of needs one back on the board. Of course, between Team Maru and Team Serral, it's all tied up at this point. But I would like to have that one a little closer as well.
Well, they're getting their stuff set up. We'll be jumping into this as soon as we possibly can. We went through those first 2 games pretty quickly, but maybe this will be a long macro game.
Well,
maybe it's a long game. Could be a short game or the middle.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different game modes that it could end up being, right? But what if, like, it actually gets into that insane mode, right? There's, like, there's ghosts everywhere, but Serral knows how to play late game, so it's, like, not that easy, Maru. What's up? And, like, the map gets mined out, and just like turns into one of those games, right, where there's like an Infestor and 2 Ultras.
They're fighting over 1 expansion,
4 ghosts.
But this time the Terran doesn't win, and the Zerg just uses abilities so perfectly and closes it out.
Maybe.
Well, you guys cast your mind back to day 1 where that proxy Rax got scouted, and then Maru won anyway.
On 16-bit?
Turned it into a absolute late game scenario, and then, I mean,
I just want to mention, like, a lot of people still bring up the last time Maru and Serral went up against each other, which was back then in WESG semifinals. And yes, they did have ultra late game on Eastwatch, but back then the Raven did twice the damage it currently does with the anti-armor missile. And that does changes things quite a bit. Like, I'm super excited. I hope we get indeed like a real game. Like, the proxies, I don't give it to me, not now, you know. Any other moment I'm okay with some dirty StarCraft, but right now I want some clean, romantic, long, loving StarCraft.
Not like this.
Not like this.
We want macro games.
Macro everywhere. Let's see it.
I mean, Innovation versus Serral, if you look back at that series yesterday, the best game of all 3 maps was definitely on Lost and Found. That was actually one game where I thought, kind of had Serral on the ropes, or at least I was a little worried about some of the positions. I was like, man, if Serral takes one bad fight here, but he made really good clutch decisions when he was under pressure. He's like, no, actually, you're pretty all in, so I can sacrifice this base. I'll just re-expand to the top side. Serral played very well, but that was definitely the best game of the 3.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Like, Lost and Found does give us long, epic games, but I feel like Zerg tends to win them a bit more than Terran, for sure.
That's why I said it's definitely a good map for Serral. Like, you can't say, like, oh, best of 1 on Lost and Found, that's rough. Now, obviously, if proxies happen, that kind of changes things a little bit, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, too, for Zerg to really kill Terran early on. Like, it can happen. You can hit some of these weird Roach Ravager rush timings and stuff, but it seems like it's just a little bit easier getting a late game to kill them.
What about a draw, guys?
If we get a draw,
what actually happened?
I'm not even sure what. I don't know. They'll come and tell us if that actually happens. Someone will run over here and let us know what we need to do.
He runs out of money trying to nuke him down, and it's just like, oh wow, that's it. There's one floating command center, and all the corruptors died.
Yeah.
The queens are all walking around, and the spores are all walking around like it's a computer that's glitching out.
So what happens after this match? Since now we had 2 Koreans in a row for Team Maru, that would mean another foreigner coming out of Team Serral, correct? Then I assume it's 2 and 2. ABBA. I mean, right now we have 2 Koreans in a row.
Maybe they can just throw out whoever they want.
I think
might be it. That would make sense, because otherwise it turns into that weird thing I was saying.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's just not part of the rules.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like, oh, we'll throw out Maru. They'll probably throw someone easy against me, Maru.
I love the moment that Maru walked up, that all the members on Team Serral immediately looked at Serral.
Yeah.
You saw Neep massaging his shoulders. He's like, this is your moment.
It's all you, buddy.
Oh, so cool, guys. Have fun.
All right. I can't wait. We're going into this. This is Maru versus Serral. Team Maru versus Team Serral. It's finally happening. Let's get this TVZ going here at the GSL versus the world.
Fight! Either you rise or you fall.
In the upper right, in the red, the best Terran in the world, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
In the bottom
and
left.
in the bottom, oh, sorry, go ahead, you do it. No.
I'm sorry, Tasteless. In the bottom left, this is
Dance Esports, Serral.
We're just so excited.
I know, we're
just like, no,
that's what happens when you put 2 hype casters together.
We're just crawling at each other like cats trying to get this cast underway.
Okay. This is the best Zerg in the world, by the way.
In Korea, that's what this tournament's been all about. Getting the grand final later, but right now, you all wanted it, you're going to get it. It's unfortunately just a best of one.
I'm glad we at least get to have this moment, though. Okay. Maru versus Serral here. We see Maru making a command center now on low ground, getting one Reaper out. So far, everything very normal here from Serral. I don't think that Serral's going to do anything crazy or all-in at all.
He is the kind of guy that will go pull first from time to time, but does he get aggressive with it? Not always. Generally, it's just for a bit of safety, maybe like pressure the low ground expansion a little bit if Maru wanted to go for something like that. But I'm pleased to see that there's nothing too insane coming out of either player here, leading into what hopefully is going to be the later game.
As the game goes on, we have a factory coming down now. Ling's speed is on the way. And yeah, I mean, everything's looking pretty standard for the time being. The Reaper moving out now, trying to rotate through the third base area, and does get confirmation that Serral is taking his third base just north of his natural.
Yeah, he almost had that timing down pat to be able to, pressure that third drone a little bit before it got that hatchery down, but just missed his window. The Reaper not really getting a whole lot of information for him yet, but this is lost to found. He has another path for the Reaper to get into the main. But honestly, you see the third base, you see these Lings, you see this Queen. You kind of, don't need to see the main at this point as a Terran. You know that your Zerg opponent is just trying to get drones, Queens up, and get that solid economy leading into the mid-game. Serral coming in with this Overlord here. Going to see that Maru is very likely switching over into Hellions. I don't think he saw the starport, but you can kind of guess that this is, a regular 1-1-1 opening here from Maru, but information is key.
That's right, getting over there, that tech lab now starting. Now Serral wants to try to get the creep spread as good as possible, and this is one of the reasons why Serral rarely dies to pushes, as he is so efficient at getting the creep out. And at the highest levels of play, Terrans are so sophisticated with how they will try to deny creep, the order in which they rotate, what units they'll send to where. But Serral gets that out. Now, what's so crazy about a game like this going into a very long one is that Maru's got the scariest pushes in the world. I mean, Maru, or the early point of 2018, was doing pushes, straight up mid-game pushes with 2 tanks that would end the game, which I thought was not supposed to be a thing that you could do anymore after you have an RTS that's been around as long as StarCraft 2.
See, the thing is, it looked weak when it started, but Terrans got so good at it, that it just became scarier as it got older instead of the opposite. And Serral's coming in with a nice timed Overlord here. This Overlord's not going to die in time for Maru to hide any of his structures. He's going to see the barracks researching stim. He's going to see the tech lab spinning on the starport as well. And this is straight into Banshee from Maru. Sometimes Terrans will get the Viking first, then get the Banshee after, but Maru really wants to get Banshees on the field immediately here to start hitting the drone line of Serral.
Now, occasionally there's an option where you would, for instance, cancel Cloak and try to fake him out, but Maru's committing. Meanwhile, we have the Hellions coming up now, trying to get some of this creep away, but there are Queens here to defend. Pretty good juggling with that Reaper, knocking that one Queen back.
Plenty of Lings here for Serral and his Queens. They don't have transfusions on them, but they do have a lot of hit points, and they are not afraid of these Hellions. However, this Banshee with Cloak is a different story. Thankfully for Serral, this layer is going to finish up in a timely fashion. He can get an Overseer in desperation mode. He also has Spore Crawler coverage, but it is a little dicey. This Banshee is certainly a threat. Maru deciding not even going to try and tussle with it. He sees the layer, he sees the Spore and the Queen. Doesn't even want to bother trying to shave off a drone here.
Yeah, instead he backs up. He did show that he had Cloak, though. He was close enough so that Serral should have spotted that. And instead he's going to come over here with the Banshee and try to take the Queens. Now the Cloak Banshee, there is nothing to defend over here right now. We see an Overseer coming up, but that was a lot of damage on that Banshee.
Gets the Banshee, nice start to the defense there of Serral, and these Hellions without Banshee support are just not that scary anymore.
Now here's something we got to point out. The Cloak investment and the Banshee, that did not pay for itself in any way. There's a second Banshee coming out. Let's see if Maru can do anything with this, but right now Serral's defense is looking stellar.
Certainly. Getting a bit of creep tumors over here to the third base, which is a nice start here for Maru. Obviously denying creep, a pretty huge part of TVZ to make pushes a little bit easier later in the game. He's got his third CC morphing into an orbital at the front of his wall. Another attempt in the main base here from Maru. The Overseer out of position, just one Queen and Spore here. This time he is going to pull some drones away from that gas geyser and the mineral patches as well. Not too much direct damage though.
Stim is going to finish up here. We see the fourth base is under fire. The Banshee's coming down here as well. Now, this is a lot of DPS. The Banshee is being put further back out of Queen range. But with the Queens there, the Hellions and Banshee have to respect that. They do back off.
I'm amazed that Serral's getting so much done with just 4 queens here. You know, a lot of European Zergs, they want to go to 5, 6 queens just for safety. Serral's like, no, I can cut that corner. These babies, they can inject. We only need 4 on the front line.
You know, it's funny because the whole art of playing Zerg at the highest level is cutting corners. Yeah. You don't want to over-defend. Then if you're over-defending, you don't have a good economy. If you're attacking too much and not doing anything with it, then you're hemorrhaging too many units. In this case, he's holding us off with the bare minimum. The control is perfect, and Maru really isn't able to slow him down that much, besides some of the creep that was wiped out at the top earlier. But you can see Serral's already replaced that.
The scariest part for Serral here is that Maru, now how he has siege tanks. Now he's got a nice ball of Marines here. They're upgraded with stim. They don't quite have combat shield yet, but when they reach his front door, it's about the time when they're going to have 1-1. The Banelings need to be up right now, and he needs to have a good contingent of Queens and Lings to round up this defense.
Okay, here come the Marines and tanks now. We are going to see this attack come in here. The Lings are going to come in from behind. The Banes are going to connect, and Maru has to pick up. The tank goes down. Can he try to shovel it further back? I don't know if he's going to be able to get any more presence. If he can't get more tanks, Serral retracts and regroups.
The front door is open, and the Lings are running into the natural here. Maru is going to have to use these reinforcements to clean this out. Oh my God, the Banelings are rolling in on the high ground, connecting with the Marines and the Hellions as well. The Hellbats going down to the Lings and Banelings of Serral. He wipes Maru off the map.
This is insane. He's taking out so many SCVs. 1-1 is about to finish. Maru in a lot of trouble. We have more Lings coming up now. It looks like they're going to go towards the third base. We don't see very much here to defend it all.
And these Lings of Serral are getting so much damage done. 18 SCVs and counting going down here for Serral. The Banelings are starting to roll in. There's a transfer of SCVs as well, but Serral's going straight to the heart of the natural. He connects there, and this living Ling picks up a few of those hit point SCVs, going up to 25 in total. Brilliant run by there from Serral. He is in charge.
This is pretty crazy. I mean, Serral shut down the initial push from Maru. Then the counterattack comes in, takes out so many SCVs. The tank count was completely reduced. You see Maru's had to restart that. The medevacs and Marines are having to be regrouped. Maru has no map presence, no map control.
Oh man, what a great start here for the Finnish Zerg. He is certainly wearing the daddy pants right now in this game. He's done everything right. He makes defending against Terran pushes look so simple. It's incredible stuff here from Serral. And it looks like Maru is going to try for a follow-up.
Okay, we see this push trying to come out now. By the way, 83 workers over here. This is actually pretty crazy. So instead, well, you can see Maru's kind of hemming and hawing on the side of the map here, trying to figure out, okay, how exactly do I attack in here? The Lings are going to try to come down now. But, you know, there's not much pressure here on Serral. I mean, this game is really more of Maru's problem than Serral. Serral has the lead, right? And when you have a lead as a Zerg player in a ZVT, you just need to try to maintain it and wait for the Terran to try to attack out.
And when Serral has a lead, I don't even remember the last time he lost that lead, Tasteless. I see him ride that wave all the way to GG. But Maru, this is a different beast. He certainly has the ability. He's got the skills to pay the bills. He's going up into the second factory now to get double siege tank production. It's going to be very important against these Hyglists. But Serral's already switching gears. He's getting Adrenal. It's time to get those Vipers out in the ground to make those tanks a little bit less effective here for Maru.
Okay, now I want to point out a part of the map we're not really watching. The upper left is so creep heavy. It's going to be so easy for Serral to try to expand up there, which would not even necessarily be the natural expanding pattern for the Zerg, but he's got such map dominance. The creep is also now going all the way to the bottom right. Maru is tucked into fetal position as far as map control goes.
Yeah.
Serral's now hitting the maxed out point, and it's going to be up to Maru. Again, he has to try to do something, but even creep alone, he's unable to deny.
Serral's one of the players that has gotten me so excited about Legacy of the Void. Maru as well. Since this iteration of the game, players have gotten really good about having multiple armies on the map and controlling them all at once. The multitasking in the modern iteration of StarCraft 2 is really incredible. It's not Deathball versus Deathball. We got Serral in the north with a defensive force, clearing away those medevacs of Maru. He's got a big army to the south, just defending that expansion pattern, and we're seeing those Vipers getting juiced up, ready for the next fight.
Okay, Maru's getting close to maxing out. The question is, which direction does he want to try to go? He has not really denied creep in the middle, the top, or the bottom, as far as Serral is concerned. So it is a long distance to travel. It looks like for now he just wants to try to turtle up and maybe keep trying to get upgrades, but that's not going to be enough. Remember, guys, big picture here. Terran does not have as many spaces to take on a map. Oh, hold on a second. We actually have another attack coming in here. Maru is going to be taking some heavy fire over here at the third base as well as the fourth.
Well, there's a planetary to the north, so it might be all right here. He loses a lot of SCVs there at that base to the south. Damn, nice run by here from Serral. Oh, he's not done. He's bringing the Vipers this time, Tasteless. That planetary's in a bit of trouble. There's only one tank here. And a duct on the medevac. I'm not sure he needed to do that, but obviously the tank is a juicier of target, but whatever damage he can get done, it's only spell damage.
I was going to say earlier before that attack happened, you know, Terran don't have as many bases. They can't stretch out on the map as much as a Zerg, so he's going to have to do a push. But because Serral was so ahead, he had so much supply, he actually wants to start getting rid of some of that, attacking in and remaking his army and keeping Maru down.
Now, if we take our mind back to Maru versus Su, we talked about it before the game started. Maru versus Su was one of those series where we saw that Maru sometimes had a bit of a shaky early to mid-game, but when it got to that late game, when it was Liberated Ghost, he had all of his upgrades and he got to that scary, scary late-game TVZ army, he could absolutely run the mile, go the distance, and win that game in the end.
So we have a lot of Widow Mines that are littered around the Terran's base, but I love what we're seeing here from Serral. This is a really cost-efficient way to do it. Just harpoon units, as long as you're not being hit by Widow Mines.
Yeah, these Widow Mines are actually a brilliant addition here for Maru because Serral is so Ling Bane heavy. The Widow Mines are a lot more effective against this unit composition than the tanks are, and considering Serral's done a really great job at picking off tanks here and there with the abducts, with the run-bys, the mines make a lot of sense.
Okay, the creep is actually almost to the point where it's going to be right next to the Terran's base. And this is a huge map, by the way, so that's really saying a lot, considering what a titan Maru is in TVZ. Maru's decided to go for drops. There are overlords here to spot, and this is quite a long distance to travel. So you can see that Maru decides once he's spotted to go ahead and unload there, either walk back or try to push on the ground. And it's going to be a push on the ground. By the way, in the very north at the 12 o'clock position, Maru is expanding again. I'm curious to see if Serral's going to give that much attention.
Ooh, nice catch there, getting one of those Vipers. There are still some alive, and they do have plenty of energy. Maru trying to hot pick up there, save some Marines. No man left behind. There's so much Zerg here. And with that creep to the north, it's so threatening to the Terran. You're right, Tasteless. He can swing around to the top, use that creep highway to get a nice, speedy attack path into that planetary to the north. Serral is taking the bottom of the map here, slowly but surely. And these hatcheries, do you remember a single drop from Maru?
No, I mean, the funny thing is, I think if he tried to drop, it would be unwise because it's at this point in time, Serral has so much vision on the map, it's like map hacks.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I mean,
right.
he just, once you leave, Serral knows where you are. He's trying to push that back. And by the way, this quadrant, the upper right quadrant that Maru has, it's sort of like a triangle that he controls on the map. That's basically the only other, well, that's it for expansions. Anything else is considered, in map theory, too hard for Terran to control. You're too far out. So what Maru has, he's going to have to make it work or try to play a crazy stretched out Terran game on Zerg territory.
So the differences between Su and Serral here is that Su kind of didn't really go down the Infestor path to deal with the Ghosts. He wanted to overwhelm with a lot of Tier 3 and a lot of Tier 2, but the Fungals are really such an invaluable tool for the Zerg. I'm loving this. The Fungal interrupts the snipe of the Ghost and can make you win an engagement or lose it, depending on how you use the spellcaster units of the Zerg. So I'm really pleased to see Pathogen Glands on the way here, with Serral, no doubt, looking to get Infestors later on.
Okay, we have what looks to be a push. Some of these command centers, by the way, may just be turned into planetaries. You eventually want to have this giant wall to try to keep out as many Zerg units as possible. You can see another wall is set up over here. He wants Serral to trade ineffectively, but Serral's pretty good at dismantling stuff like this. Here we go, another coordinated attack.
And he's busting on through here. The tanks are getting erased from the face of the earth. Oh, the orbital's really low. The Banelings could potentially damage it to the point where it's going to burn down, but Maru with a nice hot pick up there saves most of his SCVs, but Serral's coming from the north as well. Oh, man, these Widow Mines, he's just going to try and bait them out as well as he can. Detonate through the mines. We got a nuke from Maru to the south as well. Action all over the map here, Tasteless. Oh, he gets the Ghost. No nuke for you.
Okay, another attack is going to be coming here from Serral. Every time Serral attacks in, Maru's supply plummets. He has to remake. And look at the minerals and gas that's banked up here for Serral. Serral could send a maxed army into his opponent 2 or 3 times and still be able to remake it all. Whereas everything from Maru is being spent down to 0 and then eventually rising back up once his supply frees up.
Now, if Serral gives Maru the breathing room to get that maxed army of Ghosts and also get max upgrades on these air units as well, it's going to actually try. I feel like it'll start to swing in Maru's favor. He is so good at the later stages of TVC, the best in the world at it. And he's getting deflecting these links to the north here. Serral again with 2 armies to the north and to the south. Maru is looking so locked down here with these Liberators.
All right, they're going to try to destroy these rocks over here, the Hydra's Lings and Ultra will, and try to push into this location. There's not many minerals here. Good harpooning there on the Liberators. One goes down. Baneling spilling forward. And I do not believe this position can be held here by Maru. He is beginning to shrink in size on the map.
Certainly, if things don't go well to the north here, which looks like Maru actually might even take damage on the north and the south here. The Banelings are rolling into the mineral line. The Planetary cannot be lifted, and the Banelings do so much damage. Tim finishes it off. Huge pick off there for Serral. And at the bottom, he also killed the orbital to the south.
This is looking like the Zerg in the campaign right now, just slowly wiping the Terrans out. You can see he's actually now hitting the natural wall in here. The moment that Serral identifies he's done enough damage, he turns around, he's never overextending. And what does Serral need to do now? It's simple, rinse and repeat.
That's
Max
right.
out again and start hammering away at whatever else Maru has.
It feels like Serral's made one mistake in this game, and that was when he lost one Viper to a ball of Marines. There's just been so few mistakes here from the Finnish Zerg. It's incredible to see. And he is a well-earned lead here against Maru. He's been knocked down to barely a base mining economy, maybe in a base and a half, whereas the Zerg is all over the map, and his economy has not been touched once.
Okay, this may be the killing blow here. We see him coming forward here. A lot of Liberators set up. The Marines trying to kite backwards. Baneling's going down. And this is a huge amount of supply lost. As Maru plummets to 158, we see that the command center, it's under attack right now. It's not going to be a better time.
Massive damage there from Serral. He lost a lot of his army, though. It wasn't a very cost-effective trade overall. A big overextension with that army in the high ground there. Serral needs to use this bank that he's been accumulating to get that army back on the field.
Dude, this is so crazy. I mean, he is hammering Maru so hard. I do wonder, is there a chance for Serral to overextend? Because Maru seems to be pretty comfortable moving out. And so he's going to come across the map now. But Serral has the bank to make so many Banelings that you have to wonder, even if they ran all the way across the map, would they still survive?
Well, this is Maru's time. He's taken a lot of damage economically, but he has an incredibly scary army, Tasteless. This is actually a very real threat to Serral. If Maru pushes through and engages just right, Serral could very likely lose this game, even after having so much control up until the 18-minute mark.
But, you know, Maynard, one of the problems here is that now that Maru's trying to move out, Serral's just shut down that northern base. So Maru has almost no income. As long as Serral can take out this army, it should be fine. The Banelings are coming in now. Liberators being taken up by the Corruptors. The kiting is quite good, but there's just too much here from Zerg. We see the Corruptors are taking this down. More Ultras coming forward. Serral needs to remax again.
Well, he managed to pick off a lot of the Liberators, and he's got some of the Ghosts, but there's still enough for Maru to be a bit of a threat here. Now he's getting on top of this hatchery, finally, starting to hit the economy of Serral here. He's got 64 millings in the way, and one of the best ways to deal with a lot of Ghosts, once the Liberators are down, once there's no splash damage, is just get tons of Lings, tons of Banelings, and go straight up into their face.
Yeah, there's so much gas banked up here right now for Serral. We have another set of Lings running through. I feel like at this point in time, Serral is the very best at utilizing Ling counterattacks. And he does it in large numbers, really punishing a Terran who has most of his army out on the map. Look at this. Look at the map, guys. You see that little red blob in the upper right? Yeah, that's Maru. Okay, everything else is Serral. Serral looks like the Blob. You know that old movie, The Blob?
Yeah.
He just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, he is consuming Maru and just growing in size every time he does that.
Maru's been in timeout this game, okay? He's trying to remake an army. Now, Serral isn't maxed out again yet, but you can see Maru's supply is kind of floating over here at 111.
So Maru's had like around 30 SCVs, maybe even less for a while here, so he can't really continue to keep going in the later stages of the game. Terran still needs a fair bit of minerals. You can't really just rely on a gas bank here as Terran. You need a bit of mineral income as well to round out your army to be able to get those Ghosts and those Liberators. So another bad trade for Maru, certainly going to end this game. Serral is still mining from quite a few bases here. His income's a lot better. He's got a lot more drones. Oh, this is actually really annoying. Having to use the scan here, no mules, but he has to land that orbital and he has to not lose it.
Okay, Maru needs to control this position. Serral is flirting with the idea of attacking in, and it looks like he's going to go for it now. No, he sees liberation zones, decides to rotate around. Meanwhile, another Ling counterattack down here, keeping Maru honest.
Okay, on the Banelings here from Serral, and again, not that much splash damage from Maru. He wants to get onto those Ghost numbers if he can get into the Ghost. Oh, more Banelings from the south here of Serral. The Planetary Tasteless. The Planetary looks like it might go down, and it does. Serral's Ultra and Corruptors are ruling the sky and the ground, respectively. The Ghosts of Maru take out that Ultra, but Serral, I feel like he's done too much. GG! You wanted it, you got it. Serral beating Maru here. and his team is going to take the lead.
So crazy. Okay, so now we know that Serral can basically beat everybody. We just don't know about stats yet. Okay, but we got that match out of the way. Serral's so dominant. It's so crazy.
Woo! How good is this kid, Tasteless? How good is he? Wow.
I don't even know, guys.
Dude.
I mean, wow.
Man,
I'm out of words. I just used them all. They're gone.
I'm
you
out
guys
of words
take it
and
away.
I didn't even cast that game.
Oh man.
My goodness.
I'm like almost in tears right now of happiness. Just enjoying myself in here on the caster's desk, and that game was a real treat. Certainly the best game we've seen today, by far.
There's a lot of people who love Serral, but there's also a lot of people who really like to see him fail. They don't like the idea that somebody from Finland can compete with those amazing players from South Korea, but he is just setting the bar once again, even higher for himself. Unbelievable performance, really fun game to watch as well, but damn, Serral's so freaking good.
Yeah, and you see Serral right now, Sue and Dark talking to each other. You're like, wow, we need to learn to do that.
Like, can we get him over to South Korea? Can he join us in our
listen,
house?
guys, after this tournament's done, we're taking Serral's passport away, okay?
I know,
He's going to
right?
stay here.
Listen, I think that we as a community need to sit down and collectively have a talk with Serral and let him know that next year, if he does not try GSL at least one time, we're breaking up.
We need to talk, Serral.
Yeah. Wow, look at Maru.
It's time to bring this to the next level, Serral. You have to play GSL now.
That was such an unbelievably cool game to watch as well. From time to time, obviously it looked very good for Serral after the beginning, but at one point, there were a couple of questionable fights in all those liberation zones, and you look at Maru's army, you're like, I've seen games like this, you know, where he has 140 army supply and he has plenty of orbitals, and he can always pull it back, but
Okay,
that was
so
amazing.
Classic's been selected to come out here.